Hey, welcome to the end of season report. I am Crunk Chocolate. EOSR is a part of Shades of Blue content season, bringing you an episode every other day throughout the summer. Where other podcasts go on holiday or vacation, we continue to bring a wave of content for you over here at Shades of Blue. The end of season report is where I bring a correspondent for each club in the Premier League and talk about the 23-24 campaign. There are 5 categories: kids, manager, squad, supporters, in season. Each category will be graded on the American grading scale. And naturally, we will dissect the ratings. Sounds easy enough? No. Today's guest. Oh, good friend. Oh, sad to see him go. I mean, I know he's not sad to go. Basically, every single time we've had him on, he's just like, countdown till we are out of here.
Yeah.
But we love him over here at Shady Gang. He is the homie. It is the red half of Sheffield, the half of Sheffield we like over here at Shady Gang. Even though it is red, we ignore that. It is Chad for red half of Sheffield. Shady Gang, give it up.
This is what, my third appearance this season?
Hey, we got you at. This is a positive of a sad season overall. Hopefully,
Whew, yeah. That's how we'll spin this one.
Happy to help wherever we can, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Well, start off. Let Shady Gang, the listeners, the viewers, know a little bit about you in Red Half of Sheffield.
Yeah. Me, myself, and my podcast partner Noah. We have a podcast called The Red Half of Sheffield. We've been doing it. I think it's coming up on 4 or 5 years now. Actually, in August. We're on all the Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Red Half of Sheffield. Our podcast Twitter handle is at Red Sheffield. So, if you want to hear if you want to make you feel good about yourself, listen to our podcast. We will enlighten your day and talk about the worst team. Actually, the third worst team in Premier League history. But next year, maybe it won't be so bad, although I think it's going to be back-to-back relegations.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
really? It's that bad? It's looking that bad?
Yeah, right now we only have, they still got the retain list will come out this week, and I think we'll only have 5 players that are contracted to the team. There's probably another 3 or 4 that'll be, contracts will be slid across the table. Whether they fire that right into the shredder or put their John Hancock on it, we will see. But yeah, we're looking to go into the season with 5 to 7 players under contract and no money to spend because the parachute payments we are due to get have already been allocated. So we are going to sell most of our contracted players off. So then you're looking at probably another 3 to 5 only under contract. So you're looking at a total squad rebuild. And if we don't get the summer right, I don't think we finish. Right now, obviously, it's too early to tell, but I don't have us finishing higher than 18th, which is 2 places above the relegation zone. So, I mean, if it goes wrong and it goes wrong early, I think we'll be in the bottom, in the relegation zone again. It can go that sideways. And then after that, you're talking about a club that might be on the verge of going out of business. It could be that bad in the next 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it all is earmarked on. The club has been up for sale for the better part of
Mm.
coming on 3 years now, and no prospective owners are anywhere to be found. And so, if that doesn't happen and the club doesn't get sold, we have a Prince that just kind of has no money. And that's why going up the previous season into the Premier League to play here last year and getting that money was so key, because if not, we probably would have been in the relegation zone this past season in the championship, because we would have had it would have just advanced the year of scrapping everybody and anybody that was tied to the club. But yeah, it could go sour. My hopes are it doesn't, but you just never know. Football is such a fickle game, and it's all controlled about money now. So
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Whoa, that is insane, but also understandable. Well, I'm sorry that you agreed to go through what sounds like a very tough season with me.
mhm.
So thank you for that, you masochist, you.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, let's get started with the kits. And your home kit, it looks like it's a nod to like your 1998 and 99 kit, which is the top rated kit on Football Kit Archive. So that is a popular thing. So I assume maybe you enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I'd say it was all right. I wouldn't say it was like a 10 out of 10. I'd say it was a solid 7.3. I don't think it was anything. I mean,
So is that a B? Is that a C plus?
yeah.
B minus?
I'd put it at like a B minus, B
Okay.
plus, somewhere in there. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a nod to, you know our home kit and our away kit were a nod to, everybody's kind of doing these throwback retro kits,
Mm-hmm.
with a newer flair. Um, and I mean, we waited all the way to the last minute. I think 3 weeks before the season started, we unveiled our kit because we had no sponsor on it, and then we finally found a sponsor a week before the season started, so we slapped CFI on the front of it and called it what it is, our home kit. Yeah, I mean it was okay. I bought all three of our kits because I usually do that every year, and
Support the club.
uh, out of our three kits, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably my favorite because I'm a I like the red and white stripes, and that's what Sheffield United are synonymous with, are the red and white stripes. So yeah, I mean there's only so many ways you can do red and white. I mean, the
Yes.
stripes. I mean, they only
Yeah.
go up and down. They only go north and south. You can't put them east or west. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
7.5. 7.5. I'll go 7.5 for me.
Is the American grading scale system, is that tough? Is that you prefer numbers?
Well, no, I mean that was just the number rating that I was going. I'll probably give it a B minus. Yeah, let's
Okay,
go with a B
okay, okay.
minus.
And well, in the way, in
Uh,
they both, the way and the third, they look like kits that you guys were just like kind of like, okay, crap, we gotta throw this one together. I
mhm.
yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's tough.
the uh The away kit I would have a little bit higher, even though I said the home kit is my favorite. I'd probably have it at like a B plus. I mean, it is
Mm.
a throwback to the early '90s and all the nostalgia that was wrapped up in that team. I mean, but
I'm
it's
looking
yellow.
I'm looking at the like texture on it, the pattern on it. That's actually quite nice.
It,
That
it
is.
it does look nice in person. It's just it's yellow.
not everyone can rock yellow.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I
Yes.
feel like I'm wearing Pittsburgh Steeler colors,
Ooh.
with the black and yellow type vibe, with a hint of red in there. I mean, it's
Mhm.
got a little bit of everything in there. I mean, it's respectable. I'd say it was like, yeah, I'd give it a solid B plus.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then this third kit, which is just white with some little red striping.
Oh, it ain't even white; it's gray, and it
Oh,
looks
it's gray.
like a hockey goalkeeper kit. Um, I guess it is trying to mimic steel plating.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I guess I can see that. I can see
you
that. I
you
can
can
see that.
see that it's really
Uh
weird.
huh.
I'd give this maybe an E. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
This
I
kid
have it
doesn't
in
even
long
show up to
sleeves.
school.
I have it in a long sleeves, and it looks like I have like mega bingo arm going on, where it's
Uh,
like the size is all completely wrong. I mean, it's like somebody spun a wheel and threw a dart at a dartboard and be like gray, steel color looking with an accent of red. Yeah, that looks good. And then
yeah.
they got the dumbass in me to buy it, so I still bought the thing. So,
Hey, you love your club. You
but a
support your club
straight
however you
E,
can.
straight E for me there.
It doesn't show up to class. When it does, it's sleepy.
Yeah,
Its
yeah.
parents never answers the calls. It just goes
Hmm.
straight to voicemail.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Sorry. Well,
Terrible, terrible. In the crazy thing is, we came off of the previous season. We had shit kits this season, and then the season before that, all three of them were absolutely beautiful. And it's like,
Mhm.
bang, we just fell off a cliff, and it's like, there's, well, whatever. We'll roll with it. Hopefully, we'll be back
Oh
and drumming it
yeah,
up
those
next year.
kits were really nice. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm looking at them. Yeah, those are nice. Even the keepers. Oh yeah, even the keepers was real fun.
yeah, yeah. It was really nice. Yeah, then we get into the big league where we get all kinds of viewership and everybody watches, and we look like a bunch of morons running around out there.
Love the refreshing and honesty. It is what
Hmm.
it is. That's what we love you for. Well, let's keep it going. Sheffield United, their manager.
Well, I mean, where do you want to start? We started with, okay, we had two managers this season. We finished with Chris Wilder, started with Paul Heckingbottom.
Yes.
Paul Heckingbottom unfortunately lost his job, and I still feel that he was hard done by selling our two best players and giving us an ample chance of competing this season.
Mm.
So after we got drubbed 8-0 by Newcastle, then we lost to Burnley 5-0 and they sacked his ass. Then we bring in our alleged messiah, the guy that brought us from League One all the way up to the Premier League. He is a club legend and all that jazz. But we sacked him during COVID because we didn't win our first 18 matches of that season after COVID. So we decided, hey, we're going to sack our manager. What moron would like to come and manage a team that's already relegated and it's November? Oh, Chris Wilder, he's out of a job. So we bring him back thinking he's going to do anything, and he didn't do a damn thing. We didn't ship, well, I take that back. We did ship not as quite as many goals as we did at the beginning of the season, but we sure shipped a fair few. We ended up shipping 103 goals this year, which I believe that's a record. Um, yeah, I mean things changed for 3 games, and then it was right back to we only won 3 games the entire season. If you are Brentford, Wolves, who the hell was the other team we beat? Oh, Luton. You got to really look at yourself in the mirror and be like, we lost to these schmucks. Like, come on.
Brentford.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised by Wolves and Luton Town, but Brentford, I kind of thought you were better than that, but apparently you're not.
Yeah.
What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. So, as a scale of the American scale for managers, I'd give Wilder a E. I hope you're doing this in chronological order of the way the teams finished, because it'd be cool to be like, you start with me and I'm like 0-0 E. They suck. He sucked. They all suck. And then you go all the way up to Man City, like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some actually the person who I had on for City, he gave Pep a B
Really?
plus. Yeah. And the players were good. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, he was pretty hard on Pep. And
Really?
a lot of
And he
people
just won the
actually.
manager of the season.
Yeah. There were some moments where he just seemed kind of like headstrong and maybe not trusting players a little bit more, and which
Yeah.
kind of got us
I get
into
that.
just like running Rodri into the ground instead of maybe playing some other people. But I think when I saw players, at least in those times, they weren't good. Like Pep would play them and they would just show that they weren't on it or
Yeah.
they just weren't ready. And in a case when you're playing so many competitions and you have to just like always win, and it's not even sure the Premier League, there's other games, but you can't have that mentality. And so if you put someone on and they're playing with that mentality, that's even a knock and a negative. So yeah, it's just really tough because we have some players that are quality players and players that I think we just brought in that it wouldn't surprise me if they're gone or if they
Yeah.
go on a loan and we will never see them play for City again.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting summer.
It sounds like Grealish is on the way out too.
I don't know about that. Everybody's on the way out. There, Ederson's been talk about him going to Saudi. That's like a thing that won't stop. Everybody, when you do all this winning, that's what it is. It's just everybody's
Yeah.
supposedly gonna leave and stuff like that.
They,
As
the,
as long as it's for good money, I don't really care who
I
leaves.
was reading that Grealish might go back to Aston Villa where he came because they just now made it back to Champions League and all that stuff, but they did it without him. Why would you want to bring somebody that obviously grew up with Villa and everything and all their promotion to the Premier League with him, and then he goes to City, wins a bunch of titles, and like, yeah, I'll come back to you guys. I'm not playing a lot over here. I'll come play where you'll throw me in the team.
$80 million.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we had to pay the stupid amount from you, so now you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay some of it back.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Now you have to pay a championship fee if we're
Yeah,
doing that.
right. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's sadly keep it moving to the squad.
Oh man.
And especially it's crazy thinking that there's only a handful of them left right now. That has to be a crazy mindset in itself as a footballer to know that you're having an awful season. You're probably not even going to come back. And what does that even mean for your football career? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
intense.
I mean, there wasn't many bright spots in the team. Um, we were. It was from the beginning of the season. It wasn't. We weren't set up. We brought a bunch of bums that from Europe on really cheap fees that turned out to be bums. All of them will be good. The quote of the season, in my opinion, was from Vinicius Souza, who is a Brazilian
Mhm.
player, has not done absolutely anything in his career, has been worthless as absolute anything. And I don't know if it was the last international break in March, but they asked him, they said, why why are you not in the Brazil squad? And he says it's not because my playing, it's because the team is terrible. Well, this Vinicius Souza guy couldn't pass his way out of a paper bag. He was that bad. The team got into, I think, 2 bust ups where during the game, actually, we had one game where they went to VAR to see if they were going to throw both of our players out because they were going head to head. I forget what game that was. Gustavo Hamer will probably earn himself a Premier League spot from Sheffield United, probably somewhere in the range of Crystal Palace, maybe West Ham, maybe a Brentford. And now Ahmed Hodzic, he was terrible. We all thought he was going to be the stalwart to not let us ship 100 goals this season. He's worthless. He's under contract, but they're going to send him out because he's worthless. Striking
crazy.
Strikers were inept 0-0-0. I think we only our highest scoring goal scorer was, or striker had 6 goals. Goalkeeping, we brought in Ivo Grbic, who was the 3rd string goalkeeper at Atletico Madrid, meaning the dude hadn't touched green grass, only in training. I coincidentally named him garbage after his first game when he gave up 5 goals in 6 shots. And now he will be gone because he's absolute horrible. We brought back Wes Fotheringham back into the side, even though he kept conceding, but it's because the back line was absolutely terrible. So he's adios. Jack Robinson was probably our best defensive player. We have a American international who, just kidding, has 2 caps, and that's when nobody wants to play. So they're like, we'll take this bum, Austin Trusty. He's worthless. James McAtee on loan from Man City, one of the bright spots in the midfield. I think he had 12 goal contributions with 5 assists and 7 goals. Other than that, everybody else is pretty much terrible. Squad, an E. There's a theme running here. An E.
An E. Oh, yep. That's tough. And yeah, every single time you would, if I would see it being close with Sheffield, that's how I would just be like, oh, it's tied, and then I'd check, and then the score would be what the score would be.
Mm-hmm. It's usually how it happens. Usually how it went.
I can't imagine this for you. I'm so sorry. It's fun.
It's fun.
The Premier League is a long season too. So
it's fun. You just gotta keep telling yourself it's fun. This is fun. Everything's fine. It's that emoji guy where he's sitting in there and everything's on fire and he's just drinking coffee. He's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're good.
So early to be waking up to just watch your team get smashed.
Mm-hmm. Every weekend.
Oh, man.
We kept it close for about the first 4 games of the season, and then the wheels fell off.
Then you're going to have to do this in the championship.
Yeah, and you play 46 games next season. 46 league games.
You're just going to be getting players on free deals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
that's
if you want to play in the championship.
Unless we sell... if we do sell Gus Hamer, which I don't want us to, but the rumor is who was linked to him for like 15 million. Whoever it was, they can have him for 15 mil. I Now Ahmed Hodzic, our Bosnian center back. I think he's rumored to go for 15 mil. So right there, you got 30 mil to build. And what did I say? We have anywhere between 3 to 5 players. So you need about 18 to 22 players
Oh
out of
my
30
God.
million.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. That's why I said it's gonna. We'll be lucky if we survive next season. But I mean, it is. I mean, we could catch lightning in a bottle. Get the.
Yeah.
That's how I. That's why I said we're down. The season's over. The transfer window opens June 14th.
Mm-hmm.
It is key that we should have started recruiting the possible players we were going to sign in this summer window back in like early April, mid-April. Get that ball rolling, get that process rolling down the hill. So when summer comes, there's no such thing as tampering in football. You could talk to these players while they're still in their teams if they're going to be out of contract and be like, hey, do you want to come play with us? Yes or no? We've seen you play, but you're on our radar. Either thumbs up, thumbs down, we'll move on. That's the process we got to go because this summer's so key because if you don't get it right, you're going to get a bunch of bums in there that are just going to be terrible and you'll lose a ton of games and be
So
relegated
many
again.
games. So many games. Whew. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they say the championship is the most grueling league in the pyramid for a reason.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It's also fun.
Well, I feel like this is probably the key or the bright spot because I can't say your supporters are bad if they're supporting this. And I mean this in like the nicest way you can say a incredibly insulting statement. So it's just like your supporters are like, in my opinion, from over here, like I would assume they're standout people. Maybe, yeah, I'm sure they're probably bitching about the experience, but
Yeah.
you can't really get backhanded and say, thank you, please, other side.
I mean, the support for the team has, as the season has gone on, it has waned. Now, the last game of the season was at home, was at Bramall Lane against Tottenham. We lost 3-0. But we sent a lot of our journeymen, 5 of them to be exact, that had been on the team for, some of them have been there 10 years. So, the stadium stayed filled to do the lap of honor and give them the send off they deserved and all that stuff. But I mean, the support has been there all season and wasn't going anywhere. It's just when it's in a bad state, probably about. I mean, I watched every single game, and it's just like probably October, November is when you just switched it off. You're just like, how, I'll watch this, but you go into it and be like, we're going to lose. So there's no reason to get your hopes up. And I would go, if I didn't do a live stream every weekend, I would go to the bar and watch it with a couple of buddies of mine. Like, do you have any chance? Are they going to score a goal? I said, no, and they're not going to win. I said that's, and they're like, you can't be any more positive. I said, no, just watch the game. And what happens? We don't score and we get killed. It was every game. And they're like, why do you support this? I was like, a season like this is not why you support Sheffield United or even Burnley or even Luton Town. It's everything that builds up to this. We're gonna relegate down to the championship. We're gonna spend probably, I hope to God, the next 40 years down there, or at least until I die. Maybe if we need money to come up to the Premier League, we do that. But I already knew before we even sold our two best players, we were going to get relegated because the gap between the second division and the Premier League is only widening. And this is the first time since I think 1997-98 season that all three teams that went up went straight back down. So I think that says something. In the three teams that come up this year, Ipswich, Leicester, and either Leeds or Southampton, whoever win that playoff final, are all going to come back down next year because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
Leicester's going to start on minus points because of breaches of rules 2-3 years ago. So they're going to probably start on anywhere from -2 to -10. So they're already out of the race. Leeds, if they come up, they're going to have to throw over 130, 150 million dollars at it.
Good riddance.
And then Ipswich is just they're all riding a high off of back-to-back promotions.
Yeah,
they're going to be similar to your Luton Town, where they're the Cinderella story, and everybody falls in love with them and tells you how great their manager is and how great their team is. And they'll probably finish where Luton did, 17th, and get relegated, or 18th. Excuse me, 18th, 19th to 20th. That's where they're all going to finish next year. I mean, it's just in the whole thing is Leicester went down last season with a bunch of Premier League players and came up, smashed the league, almost threw it away at the end. Same thing with Leeds. And if they go back down, they're really going to have to consolidate their books. So you might not see those teams up for Ipswich. Ipswich will be hit like Luton when they get relegated next year. Luton aren't going to lose their players, and they're going to be competitive next year, and they might bounce right back up. But like Burnley and Sheffield United, well, we don't have any players, but we didn't spend any money. Burnley, they spent an ass load of money on unproven players, and Vincent Kompany was too ignorant to change his playing style, and they got battered just like us. Burnley should have stayed up if Vincent Kompany would have changed his playing styles and quit trying to play out of the back and playing so direct, and then you wouldn't have got battered. But yeah, it's just it's long to make it's a wrap here because I went a long-winded answer. It's just playing in this league for me is not fun. It's the journey to get here. And the hope to win more than 3 games next year is something I'm looking forward
to. Well, I love the long-winded because this is why I want to have these conversations with someone from each club to get the full experience. And it's not all rainbows and glitter over here in Manchester City. We have sads. We have unfortunate moments, but it's just like obviously it's nothing compared to this, and just the whole spectrum experience of the Premier League, especially like I'm not a big fan of the FA, and UEFA, they can do one. It's one of those things. This is like a hellscape experience, and it's all just part of the pyramid, and there are so many teams who kind of have this. And I'm having a conversation with an Ipswich Town and a Leicester City podcast next week, and I'm very intrigued to hear their feelings about coming up to the Premier League. It's going to be because then I'm going to be able to compare that to at the end of next year when I talk to them again and be like, yeah, now how do you feel? So this is, it's all just very interesting. It's
it all depends on the type of person you get. Cause right now, if you would have rewound the calendar a year ago, we were promoted, we were coming up. There was that, we're going up back to the Premier League, but also you have fans that see through red and white tinted glasses.
Yes.
And I'll call it like it is. Yes, I lean more pessimistic. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm negative about everything. I hear that 5 million times. But you need you can't always look at it as, oh my God, everything's great. You have to have a dose of the bad stuff to keep you a little bit honest. And I'll shoot you straight. Anytime you ask me a question, I ain't gonna make up some bull crap, because there's no point in saying, oh my God, we're the greatest team, and then you go and we finish dead last with the third lowest points in Premier League history. Kind of rainbows and sunshine am I blowing up somebody's ass now?
And that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. And I wouldn't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be amazed by the character work, by you going through with it. Yeah, I'd be amazed at that. But yeah, it'd be interesting. All right. Well, is there anything else about this season, or Sheffield United? One last thing you need to get out before we finish this episode?
No, I hope we get to come back on at some point. Hopefully we face you in an early round of the FA Cup or something, so we can rekindle this. We can rekindle this. But to be honest with you, I hope I never have to talk to you again, because that means we're never coming back to the Premier League in the nicest way possible.
We can have you on like the lit stream and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sure. I'll be on there. Yeah, sure.
We just won't be talking like Premier League action.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. FA Cup.
Yeah,
about something like that. Something
yeah,
weird.
something like that. Whatever. If you just need a guy that wants to talk about the second division, I'm your guy.
Hey, I might. You never know. Let's get weird. Please, one more time, for our viewers, our listeners, please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you in Red Half of Sheffield.
You guys can find me, Jarvis_13 on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. The podcast is Red Sheffield on Twitter /X, and on YouTube at the Red Half of Sheffield. I guess we'll have some content, because I'm not like you guys. I do enough of these, and next year we're going to do probably over at least 50 of them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to crank them out if you're in the championship.
Yeah. So we're taking a well-deserved couple weeks off before I start pumping out some online content.
Well, there's a lot of us, so that helps.
Yeah,
that helps. Yeah. Well, Shady Gang, I'll be seeing you soon, in a day or two, with a new episode, with a new cool, fun conversation, new representative, someone to get to know, talk some footy with. You'll see. All a part of Shades of Blue content season. I love you, Shady Gang. And you know the vibes. Shady Gang, Shady Gang, Shady Gang.